you what, guys, I am a little shaky right now. First of all, it's 85 degrees out here. It's September 26th, and after a unseasonably wet, cool summer, we suddenly got like 3 days in a row of mid to upper 80s, super strong sun, which is nice, but a little hot on the bike. It's just approaching 5 p.m. I just left work a few minutes ago, and like I said, I'm a little shaky. It was today, I guess I would say, was a little scary. I work in an office in the upstairs. There's about 16 of us. I have my own office, and it's kind of like everybody else is out on the floor in sales and accounting groups. Anyway, I was just in my office, had the door open, and all of a sudden I hear some raised voices of people calling one of my coworkers' name. No one at work watches my vlogs, I'm quite sure of that, but his name is Mark. And so I heard people calling Mark, and you could just tell by the pitch something was wrong. And so I got up, and then I heard them calling me. Dave! Whoa. So I come darting out of my office, and I start heading over to Mark. He is sitting in his chair. His head is all the way back against the headrest. His eyes are open, and he's making gurgling sounds, or maybe like snoring sounds, clearly in distress. I get over there. One of my coworkers had him by the arm and was jostling his arm, asking him questions. He was unresponsive. This is definitely not my area in life. I am first aid and CPR certified for about 10 years, but other than practicing on a rubber, dummy in the classes every 2 years, that's it. I've never had to use this stuff. So, and the irony is I'm due to be recertified in about 3 weeks, so it's been almost 2 years since I've been through a class, and I'm a little rusty. Anyway, the first thing that popped into my head, well, I guess the very first thing was somebody was already calling 911. And we have an AED defibrillator on premises, so somebody ran to get that. So the first thing in my brain was, is he breathing? And he was. So for the majority of these kinds of things, according to the training I got, if the person is breathing, you basically want to keep them safe. In this instance, make sure he's not going to come falling out of his chair or something, and just stay with him until help arrives. Now, we've got a state police barracks about 200 yards away, and the town has medics and all that stuff very close by, so I felt this was, not going to be very long before the professionals arrived. Anyway, he didn't look good. I mean, he clearly did not look good. I didn't know exactly what was happening. One of my coworkers thought he might be having a stroke. So, since he was breathing, I decided to dart back to my office, which was only about 50 feet away. And I have like a quick reference card for stroke, heart attack, all that stuff. And like I said, in most cases, you're just going to monitor the person unless they stop breathing. So I was heading back to grab that. Just wanted to give myself a quick refresher. And as soon as I got to my office, I hear, "He's not breathing." And I'm like, oh no. So I run back over, and just that quick, man, he is, I guess at this point, I think he was like red or purple the first time I was out there, but now he's like gray. I mean, it was amazing how quick. And I'm telling you, I thought, we're going to lose this guy, you know. So I was already thinking I'm probably going to be doing CPR. So one of my coworkers and I wanted to lay him down, get him out of the chair and lay him down. And, you know, they talk about dead weight. Let me tell you, this is a big guy. And there were two big guys trying to ease him out of this chair and onto the ground. But, man, when we slid that chair out from under him, it was like trying to hold a boulder. And we were fortunate that he didn't smack his head or anything. But yeah, it's heavy trying to lift a person up that's completely, basically at that moment, kind of lifeless, you know, just wow. So anyway, my brain's going 1,000 miles an hour. Most of the coworkers are females, and everybody's upset and freaking out, and some of them are crying. And so just like the whole noise of all that, it gets your adrenaline going big time. And seeing as I was the only person there who had any training, and it was basically my responsibility to do something, and yet I just had this like, oh my God, what do I do kind of feeling. And this is all rushing through my brain in mere seconds. But we got him down on the ground, and I again ran back to my office to grab a resuscitation mask that I have. And the thing about doing chest compressions is, to do them properly, you've really got to be pressing down on the person's chest, and you're going to break ribs. You're going to break that bone area around the heart. So this is, it's an important decision, you know. If the person is clearly not breathing, they're going to die. So in that case, I guess it's not that difficult of a decision. But ever since I started taking this training, the question in my brain has always been, how do you really know if you should start doing this? And I was just fumbling around with this stupid mask, about to get going, and he came back. I mean, it was like a switch flipped, and he was conscious. And he immediately tried to get up, and we're like, no, don't try to get up. And he really wanted to get up. We basically had like 10 times, you know, tell him, don't get up, you need to just lie still, you know, lay back. And we got him a pillow and covered him with a blanket and all that. And yeah, we asked him if he knew what happened. He didn't. As the minutes went by, it became clear that he was regaining the sense of where he was, and he could answer questions intelligently. As the IT person, and he has IT knowledge. I believe he worked in IT in the past. I said to him, Mark, basically you blue screened. And he started to laugh, and then somebody else said, but you rebooted and you're back now. So it was nice to see that he laughed. But the medics came and did some basic tests. They sat him up and he was okay, and much to my surprise, they actually walked him down the stairs and into the ambulance. So they know what they're doing. But so I took him to the hospital, and I spent the next hour or so. First of all, it was just very traumatic because it just like moments it looked like he was going to die, and I wasn't prepped for this. You know, you're sitting there 1 second, then a second later it's like you have to deal with this. And all I could do was just sit there and kick myself for all the things I didn't do. You know, I should have done this, I should have done that, and I was just really working myself over and thinking, you know, I got to pay attention more, and, you know, I've got to review this stuff more, and I have reviewed it in between the 2 years from time to time. But I was just really beating myself up. And as many of you that watch my videos might know, I lost my son in the not-too-distant past. And unfortunately, an event like this immediately kind of mentally takes me back to that situation where it's basically a trauma situation. And so all kinds of negative things are happening in my brain and everything. And then I got a couple of my coworkers checking on me. You know, are you okay? And one of them said, like, thank God you knew what you're doing. You basically saved his life, which I didn't. But one person said, seeing how calm you were and how you handled that makes me feel safe. And that was like really profound. That was really profound to me, that was how others perceived it. And another person said, you really handled that well. And I guess now, after several hours have gone by and I look back, I was one of the few people that was not basically freaking out. And I did have some semblance of what to do. So that's good. That's the purpose of being trained and all that. But, you know, hours went by and I could just feel myself kind of shaky. I'll probably need a good night's sleep and all that to kind of get back to normal. I was actually thinking about not doing the CPR classes anymore. Every time I go through these, I always end up having a little relapse to my grief stage. But it was very unexpected, and it was scary. You know, in the grand scheme of things, it may have been a very small event. You know, if it wasn't a heart attack or stroke and it's just something mild, I don't know. But to people who don't see this kind of thing every day, we go to work, we do our job, we go home, and day in and day out, everybody's there the next day, you know. You just don't expect something like this to be happening right in front of you in your workplace. We're wishing the best for him and his family, of course, and just try to learn from this. If I ever am in this situation again, maybe be a little more assertive or know exactly what to do without having to check my quick reference booklet. But yeah, I just needed to regurgitate that out because it's just been in my brain for a couple of hours. Not only be safe on the motorcycles, but be smart with diet, exercise, especially if you have families and people who depend on you and love you. You want to be around in the long haul. So being safe on our motorcycles is obviously primary, what we talk about on these vlogs, but just being smart in life, you know, very important. So thank you for listening as I just kind of purged my my experience of the day. Hope everyone is well. I'm looking forward to getting home and just kind of putting this one behind me. Until next time.